Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining again today. We've got another toy modding video for you. Well, I'm pretty excited about today's video, ladies and gentlemen, because we are going to be taking this here Hasbro Nerf licensed pulse rifle toy from the movie Aliens, and we're going to be modding it into this, which I definitely think now looks far more screen accurate. So in addition to giving this obviously a completely new paint job, I have made it a little bit more Neil Blomkamp unmade Alien 3-esque by adding rails, a PEC 15, another rail on top, and a reticle sight, which pretty much makes it look almost identical to Neil Blomkamp's. And as well, I fashioned a compensator out of PVC pipe for the tip. So let's go ahead and turn on the PEC 15. Currently I have it set to both the flashlight and the green laser setting. Very nice, very nice. And of course, if we turn on the reticle sight, and of course, there we go. This thing is absolutely pretty awesome. I'm super satisfied with how this turned out. Personally, I don't think it could look any more like I wanted it to from the movie. And now, the sounds fit a lot more with the look. It's perfection if you ask me, and now you get to watch me mod it. First things first, we're going to be sanding off the Nerf logo. We're starting with a Dremel tool, followed by multiple different grits of sandpaper. First up is 500. Followed by 1000, followed by 1500, followed by 2000. Nice and smooth. I'm going to skip over the portion of the video where I repeat the process on the other side to save time. Now it's time to remove the screws holding the shroud together.
A few moments later.
There are quite a few screws holding the shroud together. Next up, it's time to start painting. We're going to be starting with a gray primer. We'll be taking a section of PVC piping and turning it into a 4-slot barrel compensator with a Dremel tool. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. Time to take it outside and prime it. After that, we'll be using the Dremel tool to remove the back portion of the trigger. We'll be removing the 2 screws that hold the pump together so that we can make sure to coat underneath with paint later on. I got a bit ahead of myself and forgot before priming the gun body to remove the embossed Aliens logo on the grenade launcher ejection port, so we are doing that now. Thumbs down on Hasbro and Nerf for designing it this way. I would have preferred that they put that logo anywhere else on the gun. It is in a spot that is rounded, making it harder to sand off for a mirrored finish. I'm repeating the same sanding process as earlier, starting with a lower grit and working my way up to a higher grit. Now, we'll be using the soldering iron to add some grooves to the barrel compensator. Back to painting. We'll be using a flat black to coat the barrel compensator, stock, and magazine. Then it's back to gray primer so that we can prime the spot where we just sanded the Aliens logo off the ejection port on the gun body. Switching over to a flat clear coat for the barrel compensator, followed by a satin semi-gloss for the stock, and then back to the flat clear coat for the magazine. Now we're hitting the ammo counter buttons with the flat black. Next up, we'll be using the flat black to coat the gun body. This is the portion for which we previously removed the screws holding the pump together. I'd like to mention as well that I have seen some people rip their entire Nerf pulse rifle apart down to the very last screw in order to mod it and repaint. And I've also seen some people not disassemble the gun at all, and simply mask it up between paint layers. I chose to go in the middle, removing and coating the shrouds separately, but opted not to disassemble the gun body at all, and masked some parts, as well as bagged and protected the electronics rather than removed them entirely. We're back to using the satin semi-gloss spray to coat certain parts of the gun body, leaving only the pistol grip uncoated. Alright, it's finally on to painting the shrouds. We're priming with gray first, and then I'm very quickly going to be showing the coat of paint that I started with after primer, which was a nutmeg brown that looked far more brown in photos than it did when it cured for me. So I opted to go with Rapco Parts 24087 Semi-Gloss Olive Drab in a rattle can, and boy am I satisfied. It pretty much matched Humbrol Brown Bess on a Pantone chart, which is the original color used in the production of Aliens. Also, it lays down thick and is an automotive finish, so it did not require a clear coat afterwards. I must admit, however, it was difficult to work with and dripped a lot. If you're watching along and planning on doing this to your Nerf pulse rifle, just be aware of this if you are going to purchase Rapco Parts 24087 Semi-Gloss Olive Drab in a rattle can. At this point, we're going to be coating the pistol grip with a burnt sienna that has had just a few drops of black mixed in. I've seen multiple screen-used pulse rifles sell at auction from Aliens, both with completely blacked out grips, and as well with a more lighter but greasier looking burnt sienna on the grips. So we're going to be meeting halfway with a dark brown. Now, we're going to be painting some silver on the ejection port for the grenade launcher. After that, we'll be spraying the pistol grip with a flat clear coat. Alright, it's time for us to start reassembling the electronics in preparation to replace the shroud. Time for us to put all of these screws back in place.
A few moments later.
The unit starts with a count of 10, and we have to manually press the buttons to get the number on the ammo counter to start at the iconic 95 round count. At this point, we're finally moving beyond movie accuracy and actually adding a few things that will make this pulse rifle, as stated at the start of this video, a little bit more reminiscent of the proof of concept pulse rifle that Neil Blomkamp showed off for his Unmade Aliens sequel. It is also reminiscent of several of the pulse rifle upgrades available in both Aliens Colonial Marines and Aliens Fireteam Elite, the respective video games. We're starting by adding 2 metal ATG Leapers 13-slot Weaver rails to the top and side of the barrel and gas tube. Next up, we'll be adding a PEC-15 laser illuminator to the side rail. After that, we'll be installing a plastic 13-slot Picatinny rail with a red dot sight to the top of the shroud. I'm using the same model of red dot sight that Neil Blomkamp used on his proof of concept. And now we're moving on to my favorite part of any build, distressing and weathering. We're going to be going with a tried and true method on this project, the faithful silver Sharpie marker. We'll be hitting a lot of the high edges to make certain details pop. We want this thing to look quite used, but not absolutely trashed. This will be the longest portion of the video with no narration, so sit back and enjoy the detailing process. After the silver Sharpie, we'll be using a silver Uniball gel pen for smaller scratches and scuffs. After the gel pen, we'll be using some flat black to brush onto the magazine release button. To save time, we'll just be showing the other side's detailing at high speed. I enjoy playing one side at normal speed, but with cuts, and the other side at high speed with little to no cuts. It offers a different perspective to parts of the process. This pulse rifle is looking absolutely fantastic. We still have to throw a few high spot details down on the barrel compensator with the silver Sharpie. Let's go ahead last minute and make a few larger chips here and there on some of the edges using the silver Sharpie. Once again, doing the other side detail at high speed. And finally, the last step, we'll be taking some flat black and dry brushing it onto several spots on the shroud to break up the olive drab color and give the gun a slightly greasy, grimy look. And this baby is officially done. Well, I don't know about you, but I am wildly happy with how this project turned out. Here's an untouched Nerf pulse rifle, side by side with the Nerf pulse rifle that I just finished modding for comparison. As usual, if you enjoyed this video, please let me know I am doing a good job by giving it a thumbs up, commenting, and if you wish to support me further as a creator, please subscribe and tap that bell to all notifications so you never miss any future content from my channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.